Hi, it's Paul Maunder from Production Expert. In this video, we'll be using Cinematic Rooms Professional from LiquidSonics to add a convincing reverb to some Foley. In this session, I have several tracks of Foley, a combination of feet, cloth, and other sounds, and at the moment, it's dry. First, let's hear a short section of these sounds with no music. Next, I'll solo the footsteps. Here's what they sound like dry. This would definitely benefit from a reverb because the scene takes place in this large underground basement area. From the Foley aux track, I've created a send, which goes to another 5.1 aux, which has Cinematic Rooms Professional on it. Let's send the signal to it and experiment with some presets first of all. Let's try another. And maybe one more. Okay, this one sounds about right. Of course, you have a lot of control with this plugin, so if you have the time, you can really tailor the sound to be precisely as you need it. In this case though, I'm just going to base it on the preset, but make a couple of small adjustments. In particular, the pre-delay is worth experimenting with. Pre-delay in a reverb is the delay time between the source sound and the onset of the reverb. It's one of the most important settings to represent room size. Larger rooms will have a longer pre-delay than smaller ones, and the way this works in LiquidSonics reverbs differs from how it works in most other reverbs. So as I adjust this pre-delay, it only affects the late reverberation. Let's make some adjustments and hear the differences as we go. I don't want to go too far with this setting, so we'll leave it about there. We are going to revisit pre-delay shortly on another example with some more transient sounds where the effect of it might be even more apparent. With the pre-delay in Cinematic Rooms only affecting the late reverb, the reflections, which were designed to work in perfect harmony with the source for clean and convincing spatialization, don't become dramatically unglued from the sounds. This is one of the advantages that LiquidSonics reverbs have over others. Pre-delay, of course, has to be considered alongside the various other controls we could make adjustments to. Let's jump to another section on the timeline, where this character, Caitlin, is making some makeshift weapons, including beds of nails. Once again, I'll experiment with the pre-delay as we play it back. Let's play that back once more and just refine the pre-delay a little bit. That sounds good, and I just want to make mention of one other control which is important whenever you want to create a convincing room reverb sound. The proximity control allows us to push the reflections a little further into the distance by setting a higher reflection pattern. Currently this is set to adjacent, but there are other options for close, medium, far, distant, and even reverse. Let's set it to distant and maybe also increase the reverb send level a bit and see how that sounds. Now, I'm running this in a 5.1 session, and one drawback to some surround reverbs is that the same decay time is applied to all channels, but quite often you don't want that. You may, for example, want the center channel reverb to have a shorter decay time to the left and right channels, and maybe you want the surrounds to have a longer decay. That's where surround editing planes in Cinematic Rooms comes in. If I click here, I've got the option to apply those different decay times. It's all relative to the master setting, which in this case is 1.4 seconds. So I'll click center and reduce this a little, and then go to the surrounds and increase it. Of course, you'll be hearing this in stereo, but rest assured it works great in surround. Well, I hope that gives you some insight into a couple of ways in which cinematic rooms can be used on Foley sounds. It's a very convincing sounding reverb, and I use it all the time now on post projects. For more information, head over to the Production Expert blog or go to liquidsonics.com. Thanks for watching.